How's it going, guys? It is the 3rd of January today, and this little video I'm just going to talk all about fat loss. First thing first, you need to let go of this kind of urge you've got to go full monk mode on this whole situation. So many people go at January with the attitude of, right, I'm going to train 7 days a week. I'm going to eat 6 meals of broccoli and chicken and white fish, and I'm going to drink 8 gallons of water and nothing else. And to be honest, like, it just never, it might happen for a little while, but you don't need to go to extremes to start getting results. That's the thing you've got to remember with the whole process. And the bigger the extreme you go towards, the harder you're making it for yourself to continue it long term and not just get the result but keep the result. So stop thinking that you need to do something outrageous to start working towards the results that you want. Number 2, you need to look at scheduling a realistic training and nutrition regime. So similar to point 1, I guess, but don't feel the need to, like I say, train 7 days a week. You're far better off saying, right, okay, well, between work, family commitments, girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever, I can commit to 3 definite quality training sessions. You're far better saying that to yourself than going, I'm going to try and train 5-6 times a week, but in reality you end up doing a couple of flaky sessions, not turning up to a couple last minute. You get maybe 1 or 2 good ones in. Set yourself stuff that you can say, right, I can commit to that, I can do that. Because if you go at it with that mindset to start with, it's a lot harder to cop out of it, because you know you can do it, rather than trying to set these like lofty expectations of yourself that you know from the start, well, I might be able to do it, but odds are, nah, I probably can't. Number 3, you need to set some goals. And I've talked about it previously, kind of finding out exactly where you're at right now. So we're talking about body fat. So see if you can get your body fat percentage taken, whether that's by calipers, whether it's the kind of like electrical impedance stuff, the scales that you stand on. It doesn't really matter how accurate the method of measuring is, but what matters is that you use it consistently for as long as you're gonna kind of measure your progress that way. But from whatever kind of the measures are, then you can like set some goals around that. So where do you want to be in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months time? It's not enough to just say on day 1, I want to be less fat, or I want to lose weight. Well, you need to have some kind of quantitative, yeah, that's right, quantitative. You need to have some quantitative targets that you can kind of measure over time, and that will give you accountability and it will give you motivation as you push through the process, rather than just kind of having these fluffy targets. Number 4, you need to track your macros. Macros, calories, however you want to refer to it. So download MyFitnessPal. Eat how you want to eat. Don't feel like it's got to be perfect. Don't feel like you've got to be exceedingly accurate with what you're doing, but log your food. Like, it looks quite a complicated app when you download it, but that's because it throws out you recommended calories and what you should be doing. Ignore all that. All I want you to do is use it as a diary tool. It's more about kind of looking at your week's worth of food and seeing what your habits are, rather than kind of like to the calorie exactly where you're at. But then from there, then you can start looking at calories and things. But you'll also learn a bit more about what's in your food if you go through a process of tracking it for a little while. And then you've learned what you needed to learn, and you, let's face it, no one wants to track calories for the rest of their life, but it is a useful tool at certain times. Last thing, you might need, or you might want or benefit from having a trainer, an online coach, or even a really good training partner. That, I think, is the hardest one to find out of those 3 things. The training partner needs to have similar goals to you. They need to kind of be an equal level of responsibility on both of you for turning up, working hard. One of you shouldn't be pulling the other one through all the time. And because they're so hard to find, that's why a lot of people invest in a trainer, because they're literally paying that person to motivate them, make sure they're there, as well as their expertise with exactly what they're doing. So a good coach, a good trainer should take all the guesswork out of what you're trying to do. So you've literally just got to turn up and work your nuts off and make sure you're putting the right things in and out of your mouth. So if you can do it, it's a really worthwhile investment, I promise you. There's loads of different kind of coaches out there that like vary both in kind of the quality of what they do as well as what they actually do as a service. So if you've got any questions about that, my recommendations in specific areas or online, then I'll be happy to shoot you a message who I would recommend. But it's definitely worth thinking about if you want to kind of outsource a lot of the fluff work and you're happy to invest in that. So there you have 5 things, all right? Don't go monk mode on everything. Schedule a realistic training regime and be realistic with your food. Get some goals by tracking exactly where you're at right now and then building some goals from that. Get your macros tracked through MyFitnessPal, your calories, and consider working with a trainer or finding a damn good training partner. All right? Thank you very much, guys. I'll try not to make the next video so far down the line. December was a bit of a weird month. Anyone that's kind of like follows my social media will know a few personal things going on, but New Year and all that jazz now, so we crack on. And yeah, I'd appreciate any feedback, subscribe and all of that, and I'll see you later. Cheers, guys.